Human beings spend enormous energy trying to avoid suffering. Trying to control life. Control the future. Control loss. Control uncertainty. Yet despite all this effort, pain always arrives eventually. Loss happens. People leave. Bodies weaken. Dreams collapse. And perhaps this raises an uncomfortable question. If suffering cannot be avoided, how should humans face it? Few philosophers answered this question more calmly than Seneca the Younger. A Stoic thinker who believed inner peace becomes possible even inside chaos. Not by controlling the world, but by learning to control oneself. Tonight, we explore Seneca's philosophy of suffering, fear, loss, emotional resilience, and the search for inner stability in an unstable world. Part 1: The Illusion of Control. Human beings crave certainty. People want guarantees. Guaranteed love. Guaranteed success. Guaranteed security. Guaranteed happiness. But life refuses certainty constantly. Everything changes. Unexpected suffering appears without warning. And according to Seneca, much emotional pain comes from resisting this reality. Humans try desperately to control things outside their power. Other people. The future. Fortune. Death. But Stoicism teaches a difficult truth. Some things are controllable. Many are not. Wisdom begins when humans recognize the difference. Part 2: We suffer more in imagination. Seneca believed the mind intensifies suffering dramatically. People often suffer anticipating pain, fearing future disaster, replaying past mistakes, imagining catastrophe. The mind creates psychological suffering before reality even arrives. This is why anxiety feels so exhausting. Humans mentally experience future pain repeatedly. And sometimes, the imagined suffering becomes worse than reality itself. Seneca famously wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Modern society amplifies this endlessly. Constant information. Constant fear. Constant comparison. The nervous system rarely rests. And because of this, many people remain psychologically trapped inside imagined futures. Part 3: Stoicism is not emotional numbness. Many misunderstand Stoicism. They imagine emotional suppression, cold detachment, lack of feeling. But Seneca did not reject emotion entirely. He understood grief, sadness, fear, and pain as natural human experiences. What he opposed was emotional slavery, the condition where external events completely control inner stability. A Stoic still feels pain, but seeks not to become consumed by it. Seneca believed wisdom means creating inner discipline strong enough to endure instability without psychological collapse. Part 4: The Fear of Loss. Much human suffering comes from attachment. People fear losing loved ones, status, money, youth, identity, comfort. But Seneca believed attachment becomes dangerous when humans forget impermanence. Everything temporary eventually changes. This reality feels painful. But denying impermanence creates even greater suffering. Stoicism teaches acceptance of mortality and change. Not because loss is easy, but because resistance cannot stop reality. And perhaps modern humans suffer intensely partly because society constantly encourages illusion of permanence. Part 5: Preparing for Suffering. Seneca believed mentally preparing for hardship creates resilience. Not pessimism. Preparation. Stoics practiced imagining difficult situations intentionally. Failure. Poverty. Rejection. Death. Why? Because familiarity weakens fear. Humans become psychologically fragile when they expect life to remain comfortable permanently. But hardship is inevitable. And according to Seneca, preparation transforms suffering from overwhelming shock into manageable reality. Modern culture often avoids thinking about suffering entirely. Yet avoidance increases fear. Part 6: The Danger of Excess. Seneca believed excess weakens the human spirit. Excess comfort. Excess luxury. Excess desire. The more dependent humans become on external pleasure, the more emotionally fragile they may become. Modern consumer culture constantly stimulates desire. More entertainment. More validation. More possessions. More stimulation. Yet endless consumption rarely creates peace. Because desire expands continuously. Seneca valued moderation and simplicity. Not extreme deprivation, but freedom from psychological dependence. Part 7: Time and Mortality. Seneca wrote extensively about time. Because humans waste enormous amounts of life unconsciously. People postpone living meaningfully. Waiting for perfect circumstances. Waiting for certainty. Waiting for future happiness. Meanwhile, time disappears quietly. Stoicism teaches awareness of mortality not to create despair, but urgency. Life becomes more meaningful when humans remember its fragility. Modern distraction often hides mortality. But death remains part of existence whether acknowledged or not. And according to Seneca, awareness of death can sharpen appreciation for life itself. Part 8: Inner Freedom. Seneca believed true freedom is internal. A person emotionally controlled by fear, anger, envy, desire, public opinion, is not truly free. External freedom means little without inner stability. This is why Stoicism focuses heavily on self-awareness, discipline, reflection, mastery over reaction. Not because humans can eliminate suffering completely, but because they can choose how suffering shapes them psychologically. Part 9: Why Stoicism Still Resonates Today. Modern society creates enormous psychological instability. Constant stimulation. Comparison. Fear. Uncertainty. Many people feel emotionally overwhelmed because the external world changes continuously. Seneca's philosophy remains powerful because it redirects attention inward. Toward resilience, discipline, emotional clarity, acceptance. Stoicism does not promise perfect happiness, but it offers psychological grounding inside unstable existence. And perhaps this explains why Stoic philosophy continues resonating deeply today. Part 10: Final Reflection. Seneca believed suffering is unavoidable. But unnecessary suffering often emerges from resistance, fear, attachment, uncontrolled imagination. Humans cannot control fate completely, but they can develop inner strength, calmness, perspective. And perhaps true peace comes not from controlling life, but from learning how to endure life wisely. Maybe strength is not the absence of suffering. Maybe it is the ability to remain inwardly steady while suffering passes through you.